Welcome to G&G's Garage. In this episode we are starting the restoration of my 2002 HSV Clubsport. So let's get started with first taking off the bumper. Right, there are some clips at the top holding the plastic that's covering over the radiator. We need to remove those first to give access to 3 screws at the top of the bumper. This is all in preparation because I need to remove the drivetrain and engine, as there's many oil leaks, and part of the restoration we've got to start with the mechanical. Right, once I've removed those 3 screws, there are a couple of screws either side of the wheel wells, and also unplugging the fog lights. Once I've done that, you unclip, there's some clips on the side, and then the bumper just pulls away. Now I'm removing the hose clamps at the top for the radiator to start draining the coolant. Now make sure you keep track of all the clamps and clips, because you don't want to lose them when we come to put it all back together. I actually put them in little plastic bags, which you'll see me do shortly. Now I'm getting ready to pull the bottom hose off the radiator to drain the coolant, and you'll see the coolant start to come out. Now while the coolant's draining, I start removing the air hose for the front intake, and also the air box with the air filter in it. And you see me just putting that to the side, and there's the air filter, making sure that the coolant is drained out. It's quite a messy job, so that's why I have the buckets underneath. Now I'm unclipping the harness to the fans in preparation to remove the radiator, and there's also 2 clips either side of the radiator, big metal ones, and the radiator just slides out. Just making sure it's not catching on anything. And there we go. And now I'm just making sure the rest of the coolant is drained out before I put the radiator to the side. Now I'm just collecting all the clamps and screws that were with the radiator to make sure into a bag, to make sure that I keep it all together when we come to put it back together. But you don't want to lose anything. Now I'm just removing the battery, which I should have done first. Should always remove your battery before working on the engine. Anyway, I forgot that, and now I'm removing it. And there's the battery out. Now I'm just looking at getting ready to start pulling the coil packs off and the spark plug leads. Just checking everything. And there's the coolant. Also marking the serpentine belt with the direction and removing that. Just in case we ever reuse it, it's always good to mark the direction it goes. And I'm also checking the water pump and finding out that it is going to need replacing. It's very growly, the bearing, and it's also, if you see a bit of a white mark that's going around the pulley there, it's leaking. So a new water pump is ready in the future. Now you see me removing the struts from the bonnet. as I prepare to remove the bonnet. There are 2 bolts either side of the bonnet, and these help the bonnet just slides out of the bracket instead of taking all the screws, the bolts out of the bracket. Helps with lining up. I'm grateful that it does this. I don't have to reline the bonnet back up. And then my beautiful wife is helping me as I lift it away, and it just slides out, and you can see those where it lines up. Now I'm removing the spark plug leads, which takes quite a bit of effort and a bit of scratches there. This is an LS1 V8, so it is a small V8, a smaller one, based off the small block Chev V8. However, there's still not much room in there. Now I'm undoing all the bolts for the coil packs. One right at the back there, and it's really hard to get to between the firewall and the engine. I spend a lot of time bruising my knuckles and trying to get that bolt out. So you'll see me here. It's a 10mm, and I'm trying different ones just to which one best fits in there. And I end up finding one that you just got to slowly ratchet it around. You see me there, until eventually it was loose enough I could get my fingers in there to undo it. What a pain. I'm sure I've got a lot more to come. You can see me there now using my fingers, taking breaks as I'm doing it, because it's a very tight spot. Now once it's out, I just pull all the rest out. And there's the coil pack from the driver's side. Then I'll move over to the passenger side, after making sure all the bolts are in their packet and keep it all together. Because I can tell you, later we're going to forget where things go to. Now I'm removing the coil pack on the passenger side, and this one's much easier because there's a lot more room between the firewall and the engine. And then take all the spark plug leads off, and there's the coil pack off. Now I'm removing the expansion tank for the radiator and coolant. So now just taking the clips off the hoses and getting the hose off, which this one's a bit stuck, just need a little helping hand. And then there's some bolts to take it off, and just as I'm taking it off, the level sensor just pulls right out. It's not supposed to do that. Fortunately, it's not broken, and I was able to just put it back in and glue it back. And then I went and set it aside. Made sure the coolant was out of it, and now removing the bottom half of the airbox. Now all these bolts I'm taking out are T, I can't remember what T, but it's a T style bolt. Can't remember if it's a T10 or T5. Now you can see me removing the heat shield for the ECU, which manages all the electronics for the engine. It's basically a mini computer. Now I've just removed the cover, and I'm about to take the harness off, which I find out later I didn't actually have to do that. So shortly you'll see me put it all back together, because the harness was actually long enough for me to drape it over the side near the windshield. So there's the big clips, or the big plugs for the harness. And there's a lot of seals there because you don't want water getting in. So you see me shortly just bring out the ECU, which again is all bolted in. I was actually surprised that on the condition of some of these cables for a 20-year-old plus car, there's a lot of heat in the engine bay and things do get crusty. And there's the ECU, and you see me checking the seals and then realizing that I didn't have to do all that. So you'll see me now, yeah, you see me checking the length and going, well, actually, I didn't have to do that. So now putting the seal back and clipping the harness back in and screwing it in again, because it's also a bolted harness clip. And then I just pull this ECU and drape it across the windshield there. Now just removing the bracket for the expansion tank, because that's just in the way. We don't need that at the moment, so that can come out, and that allows me to get the harness pass. There we go. And I just set it aside, just making sure it's not on the paintwork. Don't want to scratch the paint, although it will need a restoration, but that's later on after we've done all the mechanics. Well, that's it for this episode. I'll catch you in the next one.